Namaste. The topic for my presentation today is warming and biodiversity of the Eastern Himalayas. The Eastern Himalayas comprises of parts of Nepal, most of Bhutan, and the northeast of India. This is one of the most biodiverse regions in the entire world. This is a map showing the 25 ecoregions and the protected areas, which is distributed throughout the region. And most of the biodiversity, which comprises of 163 globally threatened species, including 45 mammals, 50 species of birds, 17 reptiles, 12 amphibians, uh, 3 invertebrates, 36 plant species, uh, and this region provides the best habitat for all of these. And the majority of these species are, of course, found in northeast India, where I belong to. Let's quickly look at the Hindu Kush Himalaya assessment, which came out in January 2019, and this revealed that this entire belt, the mountainous region from the Hindu Kush to the Eastern Himalayas, is warming at least 3 times as fast as the rest of the world, and it is having a profound impact on all the wildlife habitats, including grasslands, meadows, wetlands, etc. And the forecast for the Eastern Himalaya region is quite uh, alarming because we are set to lose about 95% of the glaciers if warming continues at the current rates. And even if warming is checked to 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels, we will still lose about one-third of the glaciers by the turn of the century. This loss of one-third of the extent glaciers is is uh, really alarming because the region has already warmed by 1.3. That means that about 40% of these glaciers may be gone by the year 2050. That's about 30 years from now. This will have overall implications on the water, energy, food, as well as biodiversity of the region. And the recent move to allow ease of doing business in the form of the draft environment impact assessment 2020 will actually exacerbate these conditions. The entire region, especially Northeast India, is already affected by floods, erosion, landslides, loss of livelihoods, biodiversity, etc., and has a history of conflicts. In fact, the Indian government itself had declared Assam and Mizoram among all the Himalayan states to be most vulnerable to climate change based on this very uh, uh, groundbreaking study by some leading institutions in India. Even earlier, the region which is known for abundance of water, actually abundance of rain. However, data-driven map shows that this is also the most vulnerable, where future world war or over water could happen. Now, I always say that water is a local issue of global climate change, and it's true for people as well as for biodiversity. And much of it is related to, of course, the change in vegetation that has already been recorded across the earth, but especially across the eastern Himalayan region due to change in precipitation, due to rise in temperatures and water availability. Uh, the vegetation change could affect a lot of the biodiversity that is harbored in this area. We will look at a few of the iconic species, elephants, which are very sensitive to high temperatures and also makes them susceptible to disease. They need a large amount of water as well as a variety of diet, and uh, this warming is having a huge impact on availability of elephant fodder and leading to increased vulnerabilities as well as conflicts with human beings. The rhino, already there has been some documentation in Nepal where the rhinos are actually migrating further south with the grasslands, and they might even lose the rhinos as they move into India. And even in other rhino habitats like Assam, the loss of grasslands, just like they affected the elephants, could also affect the rhinos negatively. The tiger, again, they are apex predators and they're very vulnerable because they do not have alternative suitable habitats to migrate to in case the prey that they depend on, the herbivores, move to another patch where the grass may be more um, abundant, and because they are territorial, and that may lead to fights and other survival risks. Even otherwise, in the Sundarbans, the tiger is probably going to lose its habitat as the sea levels rise. Yeah. In Bhutan, the tiger is documented to be moving to the higher altitudes and into the habitat of the snow leopards. Again, that is going to negatively impact the snow leopards because of obvious differences in sizes and dependence on the same prey. Uh, Now, this is one of the perhaps the most biodiverse regions in the entire world, and about 35 new species were discovered every year in the past decade in the eastern Himalayan region alone. And if you look at this map, this of course covers the entire Hindu Kush Himalayan belt, but many of these important bird areas, biodiversity hotspots, are actually concentrated in the eastern Himalayan region. With that, I will end. And uh, the eastern Himalayan region is warming very fast and is going to have a profound impact on the biodiversity. And because the people here are so much connected to the biodiversity with our art and culture steeped in the biodiversity around us, it's also going to have a effect on the lives and livelihoods of people here. Thank you very much.